Hey, Natasha here. In this video, we are going to discuss why it is so imperative to be aware of the language that you're using related to your business. So, the language that we use, when I talk about this, I'm talking about inside, which is your thoughts, and then outside, which is what we say, even to ourselves when we're talking to ourselves and or to others. This language literally will make or break your business. And I don't say this lightly because this is everything. This is foundational. And if you are really looking to increase your capacity as a CEO and get to that next CEO level version of yourself, this is key. So if you like my content, I invite you to like, subscribe, comment, all the things, and then also check out my Fear Chronicles podcast, False Evidence Appearing Real, which is all things mindset and your business. So when I had my private practice, I really didn't realize that my language was shaping my outlook, but ultimately what transpired in my business. The results, essentially, or in my case, towards the end of that journey, the lack thereof results. I was so focused on tangible outcomes. And that was, revenue, referrals, all the things that I needed to do. And I really lost perspective on my why I started my practice in the first place. And it was really to serve and to make a difference. So I want you to ask yourself, am I aware of the language that I'm using when it comes to my business? What I say to others, what I'm saying to myself, what I'm thinking about when I'm working in or on my business. Am I aware? What's going on in that brain of mine, right? Okay. So there's no check boxes. There's no stick figure. This is really going to be cut and dry. We're going to shift the words you are using. I chose red for a reason, and the reason being is we are going to eliminate. I said yes. I said eliminate. I don't talk in absolutes a lot, and this will take you a little bit, but my goal for you is to eliminate these words from your vocabulary when it comes to your business, or maybe entirely, right? So we're going to eliminate these. And in order to do that, you need replacement words. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So, and I'll just give some example sentences, but obviously insert what's applicable to you here. So the first is trying. If you start to be aware of the words that once you begin, I should say, begin being aware of the language that you are actually using, you're going to realize that you say these words a lot. I didn't think I was like, I don't say those. I was like, maybe trying, but I was like, I don't say wishing. I don't say hope. You do say these words more than you think. So the reason we're going to shift, because again, this is going to shift with that CEO mindset. It's going to shift with your actions because you aren't trying, you're not wishing, you're not hoping, and you don't need to or have to do things. Why? Because you are aligned and you are doing what you love, what you're passionate about. So really, when it comes to shifting your language, and what I alluded to in my personal story is you always go back to your anchor. I'm just going to write this up here. This is totally separate, but I feel like it's worth including. Whenever you lose your perspective, you start going, and you're you're in a busy trap and you're doing all these things and you feel like nothing is happening. Go back to your why. Because that is ultimately always going to help give you that perspective back, why you're doing what you're doing, and to help you shift your language. Because trying, we're not going to say trying anymore, right? What are we going to use in place of trying? That ran into the why a little bit, is doing. We are now doing. We're not trying. So we're not trying to expand our business. We're not trying to run a business. We're not trying to do the things. We are doing those things. So an example, instead of I'm trying to reach out to referral partners or prospective referral partners, I am doing those things. I'm doing that day to day. I'm not trying. I'm already doing it because you are, right? Small tweaks in your language are going to make all the difference. So now we're going to go to wishing. There's different words you can use in place of wishing. I would just say just eliminating wishing is good enough. But for the sake of this video, I'll give you a replacement. Instead of wishing, I went with intend or intending. You have the intention. You're not wishing for it. That's your intention. That's intentionally what you're going to do, right? So you intend to expand. So you're not wishing to expand to multiple locations and increase, quadruple your revenue. You intend to. That is your plan. That is what you're building up to. That is what you're going to execute. You are intending. You're not wishing. You're intending on doing the things. With me so far? Okay. So hoping. Now, this is another one I was like, I don't say hoping, I did. And when I caught myself, I was like, oh no. I was like, I do say that. So it's really, when you increase that awareness, you're going to be super surprised at how often we do say these things. So instead of hoping, I would suggest willing. I will. So instead of I am hoping to make that, my annual revenue goal, I will make my annual revenue goal. I will. I'm not wishing. I'm not trying. I'm not hoping. I will. I intend to. Do you see how just shifting that language, it's a completely different tone. It's a completely different energy coming from different spaces. So small tweaks in your language is even a little bit, if you really want to, I won't get into the weeds about it, but it's even a bit of psychology. It's really, again, starts with your mind. It starts with your thoughts. And then the language that we're using. The one that we say all the time, and I could generalize this into everything, even down to a dentist appointment for myself, right? And we'll say, I need to schedule that, or I need to get this done, or I have to make these cold calls, or whatever it is, right? I have to do this marketing. Because what do you think about that when you actually listen to the tone of that? Even I said it in my funny voice, but I need to, I have to. What do you think would sound better? I get to make these calls. I get to do what it is I love to do for a living and get paid for it. I don't need to do that. I want to. I get to. So look at all the words in red one more time. Because when we really put it into context and we really think about it and we really listen, trying, wishing, hoping, need to, or have to is coming from a different space in your mind, almost forceful, right? Versus from a place of calm, steady, you're very concrete, focused, your vision, that you get to do these things. You're willing to do those things. You intend to do those things. And you're already doing the things, right? And this comes back to even being her. You already that CEO. You're taking the actions as her. And now you need to be using the language also to be reflective of that. So you're not only doing the things physically, but you are doing the things mentally, and you're being very, very cognizant of what you're thinking. You're being very aware of what you are saying and how you are saying it. Literally, these smallest shifts in your language can make all of the difference. Increasing your awareness, what it is you're saying, because again, what are we talking about when we talk about our business? And then to ourselves, when we are, say, maybe bogged down in admin work, do we need to do it? Do we have to do it? Or do we get to do it because we are fulfilling our purpose, or we're doing what we love? Go back to your why. Why are you doing these things? And be very aware and purposeful, intentional with your language. And I guarantee once you are aware and implement these small little shifts, you're going to see such a big difference. So thank you for being here. Like, subscribe, comment, all the things. Check out my Fear Chronicles podcast. And if you want to go further, I invite you to take my 2-minute Are You the Bottleneck quiz to find out who or what is slowing down you in your progress. And I'll see you in my next video.